Ooh. Oh, camera. What a puzzle. Hey! We'll do another live stream. Oh man, I just finished episode 4 of Xmen97. We had to get way more into comics this month as Marvel movies kind of came and went with this channel, and now we're moving on to other stuff, namely April action, possibly more gangster movies. Gangster April. This is like a semi-rhyme, half-rhyme. Either way, I'm tremendously disappointed with episode 4 of X-Men, except for the tail end of it. So, let's say there's 70. I think there's 76 episodes. I heard 78, but there's 76 episodes of the original animated series for X-Men, and every season there's like a joke episode with Mojo. And this is that episode, so they sprung it on us on the 4th episode, and I hope they don't do it ever again. This episode focused on like the 2 most boring characters in Xmen97, and it just wouldn't stop. There basically was nothing else going on. Maybe like 1 or 2 cool characters in there, but focusing on the 2 most boring characters, that's a surefire way to disappoint a tremendous amount of fans of your cartoon show. Which I'm a fan, and I do love it, so that was not a highlight so far, but the tail end of the episode got very interesting. They're getting into the life-death thing, which I again, just really reigniting my interest in comics, so I'm not an expert on the X-Men series, or really any series of comics, but I hope that storyline goes somewhere, and it goes somewhere really interesting, and like they introduce a bunch of cool characters, or possibly some characters we never heard of, or they bring back in, so to say, other characters who are more interesting than the main 2 on this episode, which was a complete disaster, it was filler. So it's reminiscent to me of Dragon Ball Z on Cartoon Network, which is one of my favorite things to watch ever, but like every 4 or 5 episodes you'd get a real episode, and then 4 out of 5 episodes were just filler, so it was not the best kind of nostalgia, but maybe not the best kind of nostalgia for fans and eager fans who are super excited about this series. Moving on. Getting into comics, getting more into them, reading them on readfreecomics.org. Oh my goodness, masks. We're getting way more interested in the Todd McFarlane run of Spider-Man, which I think is a good starting point. It's pretty much my starting point. I had several issues of the Omnibus, the original 60s one, and those are beautifully drawn, really funny writing, by Stan Lee, the legend, and it establishes all these foundations for all these great characters and stories moving on. Having said that, in 20, I don't know, 2014, 2015, when I was really getting into that, it was kind of hard to get through the original 60s run of Spider-Man. So if you're a deep, hardcore fan of Spider-Man, I totally recommend the original run of Stan Lee. They're classics, they're essentials, but if you're just getting into comics in general, I don't think you could do any better than Todd McFarlane and this insane storyline with the Hobgoblin, who I know what he's like in the animated series. He's voiced by Mark Hamill, and he's essentially a Joker ripoff in the Spider-Man animated series. That is not what they do with this character in this one, man. It's so dark and fanatical and crazy. I absolutely love that run. It's only 2 issues, so that was not a very difficult read at all. It was really fun to get through. And I want more. So I kept reading, and we get to Perceptions. This is part 2, the cover right here. Beautiful artwork, really interesting storyline. I like that they explored not with the Hobgoblin, they're exploring like fanaticism and like being a zealot and that kind of crazy, the enemy thinks they're right kind of thing, which is always exciting because those make for some of the best villains, right? This is a different sort of tale altogether. Perceptions run, so it builds and builds as a bit of a mystery, like a twisted mystery. And look at it, man. You got Spider-Man and Wolverine. It's fantastic. The only thing cooler could be Wolverine and Hulk, but these are like 2 of everyone's favorite comic book characters, right? They're certainly 2 of my favorite. Done in that 90s style. Hyper stylized, hyper violent. Absolutely love it. Having said that, House of M. Let's talk about House of M and how it may or may never be a movie, but I really want it to get adapted to a movie just the way I'm reading it in the comics right now. It's just insane. It's so insane, dude. Wolverine is an Avenger. I'm not going to spoil anything because we don't do that on this channel, but Wolverine in this comic series from, I think, 2005, which I should have been reading comics then, man. I was 16 years old. This would have been a perfect thing to go out and buy and be really excited about this 8-issue run. Wolverine's an Avenger. They're continuing the storyline, the proper storyline, where Magneto has twins. He has 2 children who are twins, and they are Wanda and Pietro Maximoff, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, respectively. And all that entails having Magneto as your dad and having these incredibly powerful twins. It is exactly what I always wanted from storytelling, from like master storytellers or like a big corporate, if we can call Marvel at the time corporate, a huge story from like the big guys, the big publishers. So what I want, what I think a lot of people want as fans is the best possible iteration, the best kind of story and fantastical imaginations that can happen with these characters. We explore the best of the possibilities, and we get them animated in an incredible way, and that's exactly what you get with this story. It's so amazing. Now, if you've seen, if you've seen WandaVision, which I have not, but I've had it spoiled for me, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but if you like WandaVision and you like Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which sometimes I feel like I'm the only one who likes Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, wonderful movie, hysterically funny, crazy psychedelics. They do a lot of just what if imagining with the characters, and it goes into these crazy unexpected places, but places where you wanted them to go to see what the characters would do in these situations. And when they're pushed to their extreme, these extreme fantastical heroes, just delightful. So anytime the X-Men and the Avengers team up, which I'm not sure I've ever really seen that. You definitely don't get to see it on film because of, horrible corporate. That's the bad side of corporate running all these stories, man. They won't let them play together. Marvel didn't have that problem in the comics, man. It's Avengers and X-Men, Magneto, everything that I love about Marvel Comics all thrown together. interacting beautifully, animated beautifully, hyper stylish, really crazy plot lines. I'm enjoying it so thoroughly. And you have any movie news going on? Have any rumors or gossip or anything? There's just still rumblings for Spider-Man 4, which we've talked about that before. So I want to rehash that on our precious time here. Moving on, and this is more of a personal thing, but I'm so grateful to everyone who watched the review of these bad boys, the Harden Volume 8s. So you made that the highest viewed video on my entire channel, and it's just a basketball shoe review from a basketball shoe nerd, like a sneaker collector. And lately, when I'm not wearing basketball shoes, when I'm not wearing my Adidas basketball shoes, I've been really into Converse. And the thing I love about Converse, among many things, they're cheap. They're not exceptionally hard to find. They're not exceedingly hard to find. And when you find them, they're pretty affordable, except for those Turbo Dork editions, which I refuse to buy those. So, getting into it, man. These are CXs. We're going to talk about my Converse collection and my Converse obsession, frankly. The CX, the stretch, these are basic. It's thin canvas, but it stretches just a little bit. It's got a little bit of give. And then I can't really show it, but the cushion on the inside is luxe. It's deluxe cushion, and you can see through. I kind of see through, but it's really dusty. So, I absolutely adore those. Those are not overly expensive. Here's another basic pair. We call them basic. They're calling them classic Chucks online, which is ironic for so many reasons. Give me 1 second here. Oh, caffeine. The most basic pair of Converse you can get. Low top basics. Classic Chucks. These are, to me, they're new Chucks. So this little goofy graphic back here is from an advert from like probably 93, maybe even earlier. And that was the first pair of shoes that I remember getting at about 4 years old, maybe 4 or 5. And they were like big, oversized white leather basketball shoes, but they had blue goop enclosed in clear plastic on the toe, and if you pressed them, they would kind of change colors and move around in the little packet there, a little squishy blue ketchup packet they had at the toe. So that was gimmicky and fun, and I never forgot those were Converse, and they were really fun. And I grew up in like every pair of Converse I ever saw looked like Chuck Taylor's. So Chuck Taylor, basketball player, but I don't want to, mark down or degrade or whatever. I don't want to in any way besmirch the man because he's not around anymore. God bless him. He's a very good basketball player. He was a pro basketball player, but what I'm most impressed about the dude was that he sold Converse and made them a huge company. So you can design your own Converse on the website. These are like my Levi's idea because I didn't really dig the Levi's collaborations they were doing. There's another pair. I wanted it to look like a Christmas cookie. We've got that's a better view of the CX Squish. Really soft and squishy under your foot. I wanted those to look like a Christmas cookie or a sugar cookie. These are just plain. They're just plain old 70s I designed, but with a little bit of green stitching. Just one little highlight, but overall, very plain. Maybe I was thinking about Batman from the animated series with gray and black in there, but that's another boring design. But I like plain stuff, except for when I don't. So the only difference, and these are Chuck 70s, these are my very worn in Chuck 70s. Absolutely adore these shoes. They're super, super comfortable, versatile. You can dress them up, as Harry Haas would say. Worn them to church. They're fun. Those are the high top version, low top version. The canvas, let me compare. It's a little thicker on the Chuck 70, and the outsole is a little more substantial. And let me see on the bottom. Same outsole design, same tread pattern. These are good shoes. I took a walk with my daughter with the stroller just earlier this afternoon. These are good shoes. I recommend socks, but you don't need them. You don't need socks. I didn't wear socks. These are Chuck 70s. They're a lot more comfortable and better. They're better made. That's not to say that the basic pair are not comfortable. They're insanely comfortable and they're light. And I think if you're traveling, there's really can't be outdone. They squish together so well. But a backup emergency pair of shoes. They come in a multitude of colors. I love the seasonal colors. Uh, I think the basic pair, the classic Chuck, which these are the retro, reissue ones. So these are the classic Chucks, and then the other ones are called classic Chucks, but these are called Chuck 70s. It's not confusing. It's just bizarre to me. But anyway, if there's any confusion, these are the Chuck 70s. They have a sheen or a little shine on the toes when they're new. I'm sure these are a day or two away from wearing out, but the canvas is a little bit thicker. The toes are shinier. It's a little more substantial there. I think there's, very hard to tell probably, but there's a little bit more support in the heel there. I wouldn't play sports in these. If you're a little kid, it probably doesn't matter because you're made of elastic and you're not going to snap your knee or your ankle probably unless you step on like a pothole or a giant rock. But if you're like me and you're over 30, you should wear some like pro model tennis shoes or basketball shoes or running shoes, like probably Asics. I don't wear Nike, but I'm sure Nike makes a fine pair of shoes for running, basketball, and tennis. I know they do. They sponsor a lot of pros in it. So Nike also owns Converse, so technically I'm basically showing my Nike collection today, but I love olive color, olive green, old school military, which I think they used to supply the military anyway, so it's another pair of off-white ones, the low tops. These have gotten probably the most wear of any just because the low tops, I gotta say, are so insanely comfortable. The low top Chuck 70s are definitely my pick if you were gonna get some kind of Converse where you want to wear it or you love the design and you want it to work out as an everyday shoe. I don't think you could do any better than that. Oh, let's see. These are my old church shoes. Bright white, Olympic white, whatever. Very, very old school. I think I've worn them only to church. I'm not sure, but yeah, they're still kind of embarrassingly clean. You should dirty up your Chucks, man. Your Chucks need to have a little bit of wear and tear on them. Are we at my last? Yeah. Being way too clean. They come out with like monochrome issues or editions sometimes, so couldn't get the Devin Bookers. In fact, couldn't get the Devin Booker Converse. Can't get the Devin Booker Nikes as pro shoe either. So these will do. These are gorgeous. They're simple. Just sugar cookie. Do you have any more? Any more? No. My beverage. We're about to wrap up here. This is a light episode without too much going on. The classic black. They look fine with blue jeans, but that's a very basic and almost thoughtless kind of outfit, don't you think? Blue jeans with black Converse. So it's the same reason I don't wear my black Adidas Superstars with blue jeans. Just it just doesn't look right. And I love blue, black, and white, but you can pair Converse with basically anything. You can wear them to fancy events. You can wear them to church. You can wear them to Christmas dinner. You can wear them to anything. I just love Converse very much, and I wanted to show off my kind of obsessive collection of them. So I think that'll do it. I don't really know any gossip or anything. If you guys, the 11 or 12 people who will watch this, if you got any movie gossip or anything like that, hit me up and we'll discuss it. Yep, good one.